In the stillness of a lonely cave outside Makkah, a man stood trembling. The silence was broken by a thunderous voice. "Read!" That one word echoed across deserts, crossed continents, and would change the destiny of the world. This isn't just a story from history. It's the story of the last messenger, the mercy to mankind, the man who came with a light that still shines in hearts today. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. He was born in Makkah in the year of the elephant, a year already marked by divine protection of the Kaaba. But his life began with sorrow. Before his birth, his father, Abdullah, had passed away. At just 6 years old, his mother, Amina, died too. He was now an orphan, alone yet chosen. Raised first by his grandfather, Abdul Muttalib, and later by his uncle Abu Talib, young Muhammad, peace be upon him, quiet, thoughtful, and never a liar. People began calling him Al-Amin, the trustworthy. Even before receiving revelation, he was a model of honesty and purity in a corrupt society. In a world where deception in trade was common, Muhammad, peace be upon him, stood out for his integrity as a merchant. His honest dealings caught the attention of Khadijah, a wealthy, respected businesswoman 15 years his senior. She saw in him not just a hard-working trader, but a man of unmatched moral character. She proposed to him, and their marriage became a beautiful bond, filled with love, trust, and faith. Their home was peaceful, and Khadijah would soon become the first believer when the world turned its back on him. One night, everything changed. While meditating in the Cave of Hira, far from the noise of Makkah, he was visited by Angel Jibril alayhi salam. The angel commanded, "Read!" Overwhelmed and terrified, he rushed home, shaking. And there, Khadijah wrapped him in a blanket and comforted him, not with doubt, but with belief. This moment marked the beginning of revelation, and with it, the responsibility of delivering the final message from God to humanity. The message of Islam was simple. There is only one God. But in a city obsessed with idols and status, this truth was dangerous. The Quraysh mocked him, tortured his followers, and boycotted the Muslims. The believers suffered hunger, exile, and humiliation. Yet the prophet, peace be upon him, never responded with hate. He remained patient, praying for their guidance. In the midst of this storm, he faced his darkest year, losing both his beloved wife Khadijah and his protective uncle Abu Talib. Yet even in grief, his mission did not stop, and Allah gave him a miraculous gift. One night, the prophet, peace be upon him, was taken from Makkah to Jerusalem, and then beyond, to the heavens above. He met previous prophets, spoke with angels, and stood in the divine presence. It was during this journey that the gift of Salah, prayer, was given, not as a burden, but as a spiritual ladder connecting earth and heaven. This journey was not just miraculous. It was a sign that even in the darkest times, the light of Allah is always near. When the persecution became unbearable, Allah opened a new door, Medina. The prophet, peace be upon him, and his followers made the hijrah, the migration, which marked a new beginning. In Medina, he wasn't just a prophet, he was a leader, a judge, and a peacemaker. He created a diverse society built on justice, mercy, and unity, where Muslims, Jews, and others lived under the constitution of Medina. Major battles like Badr, Uhud, and the Trench tested the strength of the Muslims. And through strategy, faith, and patience, the Muslims stood strong. After years of hostility, betrayal, and broken treaties, the prophet, peace be upon him, returned to Makkah with an army of 10,000. But there was no bloodshed, there was no revenge. Instead, he entered with humility, head bowed, and declared amnesty for all. The idols in the Kaaba were destroyed, and the house of Allah was returned to pure monotheism. The very city that once stoned him now welcomed him as a merciful conqueror. On the plains of Arafat during his final Hajj, the Prophet, peace be upon him, stood before a crowd of over 100,000 and delivered his farewell sermon, a speech that still shakes the hearts of believers. He spoke of equality, of women's rights, of brotherhood, and of holding firmly to the Quran and his Sunnah. He said, "I leave behind me two things, the Quran and my example. Follow them, and you will never go astray." It was his final public address, a summary of a lifetime of mercy, struggle, and guidance. Not long after that sermon, the Prophet, peace be upon him, fell ill. Surrounded by his companions and wives, he chose to spend his final moments in the home of Aisha, Raziallah Talahu anhu. On Monday, 12th Rabi al-Awwal, at the age of 63, the light returned to its source. The news of his death broke the hearts of his companions, but the message remained alive, spreading across oceans, deserts, and generations. His body may have left this world, but his words are repeated by over 1 billion hearts every day. His teachings continue to guide, his mercy continues to soften hearts, and his legacy continues to grow. He lived without a crown, without riches, without armies, but he conquered hearts. This is not just a story from the past. This is our story. Say it with love. Say it with pride. La ilaha illallahu Muhammadur Rasulullah. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.